Okay. Welcome to the stream, I think. Hello. I am streaming again. And I'm gonna yap and answer questions and chat as best as I can. And I noticed I played a lot of Soldier yesterday, so I'm gonna play Pyro. And right now I'm doing Fog Pyro. Oh gosh, that was good.
Alert! The control point is being contested. We have lost the control point. Alert! The control point is being contested.
Okay. Oh. Brain injury there for a second. Is there anything I should test in particular? There's not much besides, like, I guess some performance fixes that we did and some bug fixes so that, like, weapon switching, like, on the loadout is faster and has less bugs. So if you, like, still see that it, like, says, you know, you lost connection to the item server, or it says, like, or it doesn't say anything and you just don't have your items, that should be reported. But yeah, basically just fixing a lot of issues with how's this medic real? That's crazy. We've got one viewer in the chat. Okay. Still feels like I'm moving my mouse in water. Do you have like errors in your console? Like error spam? Okay. Oh my gosh, you're so good. Dre is literally so good at Scottish resistance. That's crazy. Like, you just get launched into another trap from the other trap. That's crazy. It's like I'm on a roller coaster ride. Mr. Bones' wild ride. Not too good. Dust Bowl. So you can join the stream if you like, if you want to talk on the stream. There's like a little raise hand icon, and you can like talk. Well, let me know if you want to like voice chat, and then maybe I can bring you in. I think maybe it's your pink, maybe. Because you do have 128 pink. I feel like this map is like really open, and it's really hard to like talk, because I can either like figure out where to walk or I can talk. Like I just don't have streamer brain yet, so we're gonna have to, I guess, wait a little bit for me to get used to that. I think, I don't know, maybe. Maybe it's just a skill issue. Oh, okay. Well, maybe someone has some questions that they like to ask in the chat, but oh wait, I have top chat on instead of live chat.
The control point is being captured.
No, still no messages. I love how YouTube like actively hides messages. I guess like I can explain like a little bit about what we've been testing recently. So right now we're kind of running an experiment called, well, I call it casual rotation, and well, it's just basically the quick play rule set. So we've got a 45-minute map timer, and you can vote for maps and stuff. And it's just like, because we also had kind of our own version of casual before. Without the matchmaking, but kind of like the same game setup. And we wanted to investigate like if we can also smooth out this like kind of quick play, more traditional experience. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. Is just improving like the vote system for maps and like one thing I want to add to like the map vote is like a kind of thumbnail or a postcard for the map so that people can kind of get an idea of like what the map they're voting for is. Because I think that's pretty important. Because I think something casual did really well is like add that to the game with the like end of match like vote for the map. But obviously the casual like map vote, it doesn't work like a lot of the time, like just randomly, and doesn't give that many options, and it's kind of less flexible because it's just kind of at the end of the round, so it's kind of disruptive because you kind of just have to wait around for the map vote. But in the quick play system, you just kind of vote for the map while you play. And basically there's like this system that's present in tf2 right now, which gives you kind of like a selection of maps to choose from based on their playtime. And it was broken ever since like they added the ability to vote on more than one thing at a time. So I had to fix that first, and well, I did, and now I'm just kind of improving things. So hopefully, you know, we can get the map thumbnails in, so people can kind of get an idea of like, oh, that map looks like that, you know, for new players, but also players that kind of aren't familiar with some of the maps, or people who haven't played a map in a while and they just need like a refresher. So I think like all of that is pretty important. I also want to like think about like a system of like how to like rock the vote, and also just kind of make it a little bit smoother. Like for example, right now there's kind of, well, this was worse before, but basically the map vote only kind of did stuff when there was 2 minutes left, like it would come up during gameplay. But due to like tf2 stuff, it would, like when you won a round and there was only like 5 minutes left on the map timer or less, it would basically say, well, there's not enough time to play another round. So it would just like end the game and go to the next map without like asking for like a vote. So I fixed that, so now it does ask for a map of in that time. But there's still like a problem with it because basically it doesn't like wait for the vote to end. So sometimes you can get like the map changing still a little bit early before the vote goes through. So just like holding the map change to when like the vote finishes would be nice. Also, I think like it should kind of like be a little bit better about when it calls for a vote. Oh gosh. So like, because right now it only calls for a vote at 2 minutes, but I changed it to also call the vote if there's like around 5 minutes left and there's like a win that happens. But I think that can be done like a little bit better and a little bit more intelligently, so we don't have to like extend the kind of downtime between winning that final round and getting into the new map. So it's kind of a tricky balance because you kind of don't want to like ask for the map though too early, because that can cause people to be confused when you know the map switches to something they didn't really expect, because it was kind of a while ago, because the match could keep on going for like another 3 to 4 minutes. And yeah, people will be like, wait, what? I didn't want that. You know, they might change their mind or something. So I think it's important to kind of, I mean, I don't really have an answer for this, but it's something I'm kind of actively thinking about and investigating, like a way for, let me see if I can do another loadout. We'll just go shotgun. And let's see. Power jack. Sure.
Mission begins in 10 seconds.
And yeah, so basically just trying to time the map though a little bit better based on the pace of the game. So like, has it been like a while since the start of the last match? Like maybe that's a good way to figure out, oh, maybe this match will end soon, so we need to do it a little bit earlier. Oh, yeah, got destroyed. Oh, I think like another thing that's like kind of sad about casual is like how it restricts the camera quite a lot. I think could do a better job of like just going back to kind of the more traditional camera controls and like being able to go and spectate. I think like, yeah, like I think there's, it's really fun to just kind of mess around and spectate. Like I remember when Borneo got released, I was like playing with some friends. Well, they were watching me play, but like basically we found this like pyro. It was like, I don't know, a fresh install or just like, I don't know, or like a science experiment trying to figure out like, can you make like a mushroom play tf2 or something. So basically it was this pyro Borneo, like obviously no cosmetics and stuff, and I don't like being cosmeticist, but you know, sometimes it It's a pretty good tell if someone's new. But yeah, like this like pyro just was completely clueless. Like, basically, they're just like roaming around the map, like not even knowing like what the flamethrower did or anything, and just kind of like accidentally going around and stuff. And I remember like the best moment was like when he got to like 30 HP or something, and then was like really panicking because it's like, oh my god, I'm low health. But then like he couldn't find like a health pack or anything. He probably didn't know what a health pack is. But yeah, he like accidentally came close to the dispenser, and then he like walked past it, but then like stopped, and then like realized like, wait, my health went up when I went next to this. And then he like slowly like just stopped, and then like turned around to look at the dispenser again, and then just like went next to it for a little bit, and then went away, and just like kind of tested like, oh my god, this thing heals me when I'm close. It was really funny. I keep hearing like fail stabs for some reason. Maybe the spy can give some feedback about that. Oh, that was a interesting bomb. Okay, so yeah, we capped the first thing. Oh, it didn't feel like a fail stab to me. It just missed. Okay, that's good to hear. But make sure you complain like a lot and like blame the game when you miss, so like I can like it can be my fault and my problem to fix, because that's like way better. Alright, maybe I can just walk onto the point. Nope, I cannot walk onto the point. Well, I got that person because in this mod the flamethrower is fixed like completely. It does everything it's intended to do. It does 50% damage initially, like Valve said that they intended, and then it ramps up very quickly and it starts doing max damage if you're aiming properly. And it does like a proportional damage if like you like spin, like if you use like a panic bind, and you're only like actually hitting the person like a fourth of the time, then you're gonna be doing like roughly a fourth damage. And so, you know, it gets rid of that kind of last problem with the new flame system, where it's kind of limited in how much it can actually check, like if you're missing or not, and it kind of compensates for that a little bit. And yeah, the flames are determined like in order, like properly, so that the oldest flames aren't basically destroying the damage that the newest flames are doing. So like pretty much every issue is fixed, so like you don't do terrible damage if you just like flame someone against the wall and like all of your old particles are lingering. So, you know, it's like basically a fixed version of the Blue Moon flamethrower, and it feels pretty good. Now, I did kind of want to remove the 50% damage penalty that like initially happens, because that wasn't how it was during Jungle Inferno, and just feels kind of weird to like only make one class like just deal, you know, less damage when they start engaging. Because, like, heavy at this point, because you can spin up beforehand now, you kind of can just, like, mitigate the damage nerf that is there without, like, having to start the engagement at a disadvantage. So that's like pretty good. But for Pyro, you know, Pyro is kind of the only class that doesn't deal full damage up front. Like, imagine if Soldier, like, your first rocket did 50% damage just because, you know, you might catch someone off guard if you deal like 90 burst damage. So there's a question here. What aspect about TF2 made you want to commit this much effort into this mod? Honestly, just how good the game is. Like, that's really the main thing. Like, I think it just deserves a lot better. Like, I've been enjoying this game for like a very long time, and it's just kind of sad that, you know, it can't continue to get some maintenance, at least for the time being. Because I think that's really important. No, we're just gonna lose. It's all good. This is a good defense. Not achievement worthy, but I mean, I guess like initially this mod was a lot more focused on the performance, like in 2020. But in 2020, the game had received like an update only like 2 years prior, like for Blue Moon, and it was coming up on 3 years. And so I kind of just thought, well, you know, Valve can be kind of trusted to do everything else with the game, but maybe they just don't really want to bother with performance. So I just wanted to focus on performance and improving that. And then, you know, over time I started fixing more and more gameplay bugs and stuff. And eventually I but basically, yeah, I just kind of realized that, you know, I can do so much more in terms of improving the quality of life and adding new features and just really do a nice update that just makes the game more fun and more enjoyable. And, you know, hopefully a lot of people agree, or maybe we can get there over time. But yeah, it's pretty. I should have reflected that. But it's pretty promising. Like so far, I think a lot of people enjoy the changes, and you know that's what's driving me right now. Is like a lot of people just enjoy like how this version of TF2 feels and how I'm developing it. And I mean, that's like pretty cool.
Control point is being captured.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's just hard to avoid not making changes. Like, there's just so much stuff where it's like, well, I could like try my best to like do all sorts of like random stuff to like prevent this from like yeah, I can like avoid affecting the balance in any way, but then that would like totally limit the scope of what I'm able to do. And it's just like at a certain level you kind of can't avoid making a balance change because technically everything is kind of like a balance change. It's like if you make a weapon like more functional, you're technically changing the balance of that weapon because you're making it, you know, more usable, and it's going to affect like at least usage rates of that weapon. But it's going to make it more effective because it's going to be more usable, right? So like there's like a lot of ways you can kind of circumvent that and reduce the impact of those things. But at the end of the day, that's just going to cause more problems. And it's just like trying to change things without actually meaningfully changing anything, which is kind of like counterproductive, I think. But that's like more of a general response, I think, to your question. The main, like, I guess, response to like pyro, flamethrower, and stuff is like, I think people, like, if you look at Jungle Inferno versus Blue Moon and stuff, it's like pyro did deal quite a lot of damage in Jungle Inferno. And Blue Moon is just like almost completely broken again. So it's like, you know, if the objective of Jungle Inferno was to like fix the pyro, that just like got devastated, you know? And I don't think it's fair to like the class if like the flamethrower is like completely non-functional. That's just like a disservice. What is the most inconsistent aspect about TF2's inner working / code? Probably cosmetics and like weapons and stuff. Like how those are shown and passed around between you know, the owners of those cosmetics or weapons and everyone else on the server. I think there's like a lot of bugs with it. And it causes like Spy to be very buggy sometimes, like with missing feet or, you know, just completely incorrect models for weapons and stuff. And there's also some other weird things that happen, like when you switch your Girardi like reskin, like the bread monster or something, while you're throwing throwing the jar and you like switch to like your melee, it like uses the wrong jar and stuff. So I think like, yeah, the weapons and cosmetics and everything is kind of inconsistent stuff. I think a close second would probably be the movement system, but there's just like so many things that are basically intended at this point because of just people have learned to like really master how to use the bugs to their advantage in a way that isn't like isn't really bad. And it's just like kind of like an extension of just taking tf2's movement rules to their extreme. Though obviously there's still some movement bugs that maybe I want to fix or make more accessible or something. But it's kind of hard to figure out like what exactly to do there. Because you don't want to like break everyone's sense of movement, especially the people who have invested like a lot of time into the game, because it's just important that you reward those people for mastery. And while it's not like they're gonna always be immune to like getting something patched just because like someone experiences abusing it, it's still like an important factor to like you know leave that alone if it's fine enough for people. So that's like I think pretty important. Here, I'm gonna be right back.
Mission begins in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attention. 5 minutes left in the mission. 5 minutes left in the mission. Alert. Our control point has been captured. Site has been exited. Alert. Our last control point is being captured. Alert. The final control point is being contested. You failed.
Okay. Oh.
Mission begins in 60 seconds.
Okay. I dodged it. Goodbye, air name. probably shouldn't say error name. I should fix that.
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
Thomas, yeah, that's like kind of a tf2 bug, but it's like
Begins in 10 seconds.
made a little bit worse in comtress because of
4, 3, 2, 1.
the server crash. Okay, so the server is gonna be back up in like 5 seconds. I really need to fix that crash because the crashing server is not good. Not good at all.
Mission begins in 60 seconds.
Okay.
Mission begins in 30 seconds. Mission begins in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3,
Sorry.
2, 1.
Okay. Heavy has no ammo. Yeah, the bot heavies, they just like, if they run out of ammo, they just like still keep firing. It's sad. It's really funny. Like, when will this have a crossplay with the PS3 version of TF2? Hopefully never, because then we'll have to give the PS3 like console aim assist, and yeah, maybe that's like not good. And um, imagine like there's like a PS3 player and they're on like sniper, and then it like auto locks to like the head. Wouldn't that be fun? That would be pretty fun, no? Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I'm very tired. There's a sentry here. Okay. Both sentries are down. One of these is I should benchmark vanilla tf2 versus on the Steam Deck. Yeah, that would be interesting. I think I can make a test on my own Steam Deck and just like see if I can improve the performance. Like just do testing.
Mission begins in 60 seconds.
Would be pretty cool. Cause I think Steam Deck is like a really nice target for performance and stuff. So yeah, it would be pretty cool. Oh, the OLED version. Do you have like the see-through version?
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
Honestly, I don't really like the see-through version where you can like see the insides. I think it's like aesthetically not very pleasing, but maybe I'm just like
Mission begins in 10 seconds.
you just got it from the sensor.
4, 3,
Okay.
2, 1.
Yeah, I think it was a mistake. Oh gosh, I'm so tired. Which is a bad sign. It means Team Comtress 2 sucks so much that it's like boring me and making me tired. Okay, he's out of ammo. Don't let him get more ammo. Damn. Okay. Oh my gosh. I really need to stop yawning because I feel like I'm gonna make other people yawn. I hate doing that. It's like a virus. Like I'm spreading COVID-19, but it's like yawn. I don't know where I was going with that, but you know, just whatever. Do you think I can power this sentry? Yeah. Don't want to go there. Cool. I still don't like I really wish this like felt more like a flamethrower.
60 seconds.
Like it's just like puffs of flames. I really wish they could like blob up together and feel like less like individual things. If I had to,
30 seconds.
oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. If I had to change one sound in tf2, what would it be? That's an interesting question. I think the thing that is like
10 seconds.
most in need of an overhaul is like the bullet flesh impact sound. I think that sound, like you can hear, just kind of listen closely to my flamethrower when I'm like flaming someone precisely, and you can kind of hear this like really nice crispy flame sound. And they added that very early on, but there's not really a similar thing for bullets. And I think that would be really cool. Because then it would feel more like you're actually like pelting someone with bullets that are really impacting their flesh and stuff. But besides that, I mean, some other things would probably be like the heavy voice lines from Meet Your Match. I think they don't really sound like the old heavy. And I mean, I think the voice actor did a pretty good job. So I think it was up to Valve to kind of touch up those lines. But that's like not one sound. The flesh impact is technically one sound, but what I'm proposing is like many, many sounds. For, you know, bullets impacting flesh. So, you know, that's like, I don't know. But besides that, let me think. Gosh, I'm like really bad at answering this question. You asked for like one sound, and I'm like giving you 50 billion sounds. I mean, let me think about like what is kind of already pretty good. Well, also, I think right there, like it reflected into the wall, it kind of like caught like a ledge there. That should probably be fixed or something. You know, I'm kind of having fun with my mini game here of baiting the sentry rockets. I don't think it's really doing anything, but it's fun. The mini crit sound is fun. One sound. Well, I think the sentry sounds are pretty good. They're pretty much perfect, I think. In my opinion. the payload cart sounds are pretty much perfect. Let's see. The the scattergun is pretty good. And the pistol is good. Oh, I guess like the short snap. I don't know, maybe it could be better. But yeah. tf2 source 2, yeah, it's possible. I mean, you know, Gabe Newell said Gabe Newell said like they'd like all of their products that they're actively working on to be on Source 2. And I mean, it kind of makes sense because no Valve employee is kind of just gonna learn like an entirely different engine that like works differently to what they're used to and working with other studios and stuff just to work on TF2, especially when, you know, they're trying to like train themselves to be able to work on Counter-Strike and Dota as well. So I think it makes sense for that to happen eventually, and I think CSGO CS2 port kind of like paved the way for TF2. Maybe getting a Source 2 port because it just, you know, makes Source 2 like a better engine for FPSs. Also, this teleporter is very useful. Does comtress let you transfer items and stuff? Yeah, so, you know, this is my TF2 items. That's been in for a while, but, you know, it's been getting better because we had to fix up a lot of stuff from Valve to get it working really smoothly. No, this is very interesting. But yeah, it just like shares your inventory with TF2, but you can't really modify anything in here. So you can't like delete items or trade items or rename items. You have to use TF2 like directly from Valve to like accept item notifications and do like item tags and stuff like that. Also, did this like bot NG like move his sentry like slightly up? Like, is he learning? Is he like part of like a botnet to like fucking own us in TF2? Because that's kind of insane that it slightly moved its sentry up to cover that weak spot. I don't think I've ever seen a bot do that. So we're getting like, that's not a bot, but You also know if other tf2 mods are compatible, like animation mods and things. So, for the most part, they are. So, in Team Comtress 2, the SV Pure system has been improved. So if the server is not letting you modify something, it'll work better now and kind of block that stuff a little bit better. Though obviously it's still not perfect, so people can still use mods, I think. But over time, like, I'm just trying to fix SV Pure because I mean, it just makes sense. Like, if a server allows you to like mod things, you know, you should be able to mod things. But if a server is like concerned about people using like wall hack mods or something, it's like kind of important that we kind of respect that. But I did add like view model mods for like animations for the view models to like the default whitelist, so you can use those by default on any server. Kind of like how it was in old Valve servers before they patched out in like 2016 or something. But yeah, you can use like view model mods without needing to like preload or use any bypasses. They just work. That's cool. But model mods kind of don't work. There's probably still some methods to like get those to work. But you know, over time those will probably be fixed, and it's really up to the server to allow those mods. Long term, I really want modding to like still be alive and well. Because like the majority of mods are harmless and just help the user feel like nice about their game, and maybe it's like a meme or something that they really like. And you know, it's really heartening to see like something like Deadlock where there's like a lot of insane mods. Triple XXXL Vampiro. I mean, if you want to use that on stream and accidentally do show that to everyone, that's fine. But you know, it's all about creating like a way for, you know, mods that aren't exploiting the game to be allowed, but then mods that are exploiting the game to be like blocked. So like finding a system, I don't think like verification, like review, I don't want to be like reviewing every single like vampire mod and like approving it. Like, this mod is officially like approved to run on the SV Pure servers. I don't really want to be doing that with my time, especially with how crazy some mods can get. So I think it's more important to like just fix all the possible exploits, or like kind of flag them, so that people aren't using those exploits on like characters and stuff. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. Like, just the give like a short answer. Yeah, you can use mods and they should largely work, and view model like animation mods and stuff for like they don't need any like tricks or anything. Nope. That was kind of sloppy. Okay, we're gonna clean out the back here. Oh, dang. I didn't get the last hit. Okay. Sounds fire to me. I hate using a preloader. Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but that has to be how it works. I mean, it's like Valve kind of did that for almost no reason. It's like because they didn't want to make people hide their view models in like comp, but it's like they also disabled it for casual, which is funny. Mm, it's kind of weird, but I think it's like they just have the thing is like shared. So he's literally one health. I kind of let that go. What feature in vanilla tf2 you think should be removed entirely? Hmm. It's an interesting question. Oh. I mean, I think idealistically speaking, I guess, like, I would remove kill streak weapons because I don't think kill streaks should be like an economic thing. At least basic kill streak weapons. I think maybe like specialized and professional kill streak is fine because those are like more cosmetic. But I think like just basic kill streak tracking is like such a basic quality of life and like pretty standard feature in most like arena FPSs in general. That's like I think kind of stupid because it like gates like a reward, like a thing that makes the game feel more rewarding and more fun, and it like gates it behind a paywall. And sure, like cosmetics also like you get enjoyment out of them, but like I feel like kill streaks are such a basic quality of life feature that they shouldn't exist as like a gameplay thing. Also, I'm lagging because of this error zipping across my console. In case people don't know, I've like enabled like this slower version of tf2 that helps me find bugs and stuff, but it makes things a bit slower. And once I'm pretty happy with fixing most things, I'll turn it off again and we'll get some more performance. I should have fell through that. Okay, I got him.
Mission ends in 30 seconds. Mission ends in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Victory.
Well, that was a pretty okay defense. Smack. Could you add a toggle to turn off cosmetics? No, I'm not gonna do that. There's a few reasons why. First and foremost, this mod needs to be realistic and basically what it's trying to do. It's like supposed to be something that theoretically Valve, like if you're being like super hopeful and super optimistic, something Valve could add in some fashion, like after some review on their end and, you know, cleaning it up based on their enhanced level of access to the engine and stuff. Because there's some things that can be a little bit jank in comtress because of just our lack of access and stuff. But yeah, it should just generally be something like feasibly like addable by Valve, and I mean right off the bat I don't think Valve would ever add like a no cosmetics mod. To the game, like a no cosmetics option. So, you know, that is like the main reason. And, you know, the additional reason is just kind of more like, well, why wouldn't Valve really do that? Well, first of all, it just like is weird because they're selling cosmetics as part of the game, and you know you can just disable it, and like on top of that it just devalues cosmetics because a huge part of people's enjoyment out of cosmetics is other people being able to like see them. So and people notice like a lot of network effects, like from that, like, you know, they get treated differently if they're wearing a certain cosmetic, like the friendly hoovy loadout or something, and other people like, you know, network and socialize with them differently because of that. And then basically removing that is going to make people really frustrated because they're going to be wearing a particular like observer outfit or whatever, and then people are not going to really understand because they have cosmetics off, and people are just going to be like sad and upset. And you know, just in general, it's just literally devaluing the cosmetic because a portion of people who would have seen it before are not going to see it, so that on its own is kind of like it's reducing like the viewing potential. Yeah, there's no hats mod already and stuff, and yeah, I don't think it should just be like an official part of the game. And yeah, so I mean, if people, I think like when people talk about like disabling cosmetics, they really want something else. Usually it's like a perception that cosmetics are reducing performance or something. And by turning them off, like they'll have better performance. But a better fix for that is just to improve the performance of the game. Because then everyone can kind of benefit from that and just still be able to enjoy cosmetics. So, you know, it's just like any other setting. Like, you know, let's say like the grass was, or like the sky or whatever, like reduced your performance a ton. The fix wouldn't be like adding a setting and just like basically telling people like through community, like word of mouth, like, hey, you're supposed to turn off like the skybox in tf2 because like the skybox is really unoptimized, so you need to turn it off. And then it's like, I think it's like kind of bad because it's like, well, why is that available? And why don't you just fix it so it doesn't like reduce the performance so much? Because like as a developer, that's really what you want to do, like address the root cause. There's other things that people kind of talk about in terms of you know, like cosmetics and why they'd like to disable them. Some people think it hurts team recognition. I don't think that's true on like the broad spectrum. Like the number of cosmetics that affect recognition are pretty small, especially team recognition. There's only just a few cosmetics, and I would rather fix those cosmetics like directly because they're deserving of that fix. Like it doesn't make sense to punish all cosmetics just for the sins of a few cosmetics. I think it's like, you know, way more fair for the owners of like all cosmetics if only a few of them got screwed over, basically, you know. And at the end of the day, it's not really that big of a deal to modify cosmetics. I know Valve is really scared of it, but you know, other games do it all the time for competitive integrity. And you know, sometimes they like offer like refunds, like, oh, you can refund this if you kind of regret your purchase now, or they just don't bother, and it's like, yeah, basically. Okay, I'm gonna lock in to destroy their sentries. Okay, didn't lock in at all. Yeah, so if it's like a team recognition thing or like a style issue, it's like, why not just improve those cosmetics? Because that's like the actual problem. And if it is actually like a problem, people who have the cosmetic option on are still gonna suffer from that problem. And you're basically saying, yeah, we kind of give up on solving this problem, and we're just gonna let the cosmetics be bad and let people who like have cosmetics enabled suffer. Instead of like actually being like responsible developers and fixing it. So I think that's like kind of where my mindset is. I think at most, maybe there should be like a ban list of cosmetics that you can choose, like a few cosmetics you don't want to see. And maybe that would be cool, but I don't know. Because there's definitely like still with something so visual like cosmetics, it's still gonna be subjective at the end of the day. Like, you know what's good or bad. Like even once we get rid of the more obvious like egregious things that really break the team recognition stuff and the possibly like even art style violations or something, you're still gonna have people who are gonna dislike some cosmetics and don't want to see them. And I think like being able to select maybe a few cosmetics is fine. Oh damn, that was a good one. But it's more of like a wait and see kind of thing. Like once we fix those issues for the cosmetics, like just seeing like is this still an issue and what is still the issue, and then we can like solve it from there. Because it's kind of like hard to just like it's kind of hard to basically figure out what the next steps are when you kind of haven't seen those steps basically carried out. Obviously you can plan ahead and make predictions and stuff, but it's kind of important to still keep like an open mind and know that things are gonna change and things are subject to just being adaptive and stuff. Okay, so you're gonna see, since the round ends, see it's gonna like instantly ask us to vote for a map. Because usually it's gonna ask when it gets to 2 minutes, but because the round is gonna end now, it's gonna ask for that map vote earlier. So that's one of the fixes in Team Comtress to make that map voting process a little bit easier. And if you vote for a map ahead of time, like someone calls a vote for a map, the server doesn't like automatically call a vote. So it basically just makes that whole thing a little bit easier and stuff. But yeah. I mean, also, just because I have like an opinion on something, I really want to make this clear. Just because I have an opinion doesn't mean like my opinion is like final or anything like that. Like most of the time, I'm always gonna be like super open to like hearing people out and like understanding better what the problems and perceived solutions are. Because I think although it's important to have like a vision and not go like, oh, I'll just listen to everything everyone says all the time and have basically no coherent vision. It's still important to basically analyze what people feel, so you can make them enjoy the game more and get rid of things that are creating a negative experience for them. Now they might not have like the best like solution sometimes, but that doesn't matter. Like, even if they give a solution, maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't, but as a developer, your job is to kind of go through all of the feedback, no matter how negative or whatever it is, and just try to understand like what the best solution is to like help everyone out and make them happy. So I think like, yeah, that's like the most important thing is making sure everyone is happy in the end. And sometimes they may ask for something that they think will make them happy, and sometimes it's right and sometimes it's wrong. I think like sometimes some developers kind of like, well, also if you didn't notice, there's kind of like a switch respawn button built into Team Comtress, so you just press F, and if you just tap it lightly, it doesn't inspect your weapon. If you hold it, it inspects your weapon, just like normal tf2. But if you just tap it lightly, it just switches spawns. And the cool thing is about that, well, I can't show it right now because some wad off, but next time I die, which is probably going to be soon because, you know, I suck and everything, whatever. I can maybe show you some of the spawn like adjustments to make it like slightly less jank. I'm gonna try to play really aggro. Okay, there we go. We've died. Oh, that's a really good kill cam. Yeah, so basically, if I switch classes now, I'm always gonna spawn in the same spot instead of like randomly teleporting around. So it's kind of like less disorienting for new players, and it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm just switching my character. I'm not like kind of respawning. But if I press the like switch spawns button, I can just really easily just switch spawns. So that's kind of a nice quality of life thing. But yeah, it's just kind of fun to like just be in the same place while you're switching instead of like your view like going all over the place each time. It's kind of like a nice little touch. No, I suck. Please make fun of me. Okay, that was not the greatest soldier gameplay. But yeah, it's like the little things like that in the game that just, I think, help it really succeed. Well, it's not really succeeding. I mean, we barely have like, I don't know, 4 players or something. Yeah. There's certainly not other people playing on other servers. So, you know, it's a dead mod. But hopefully it'll be alive one day. Okay, Dre, thanks for playing so much. It's really great to have you around, and yeah, I always appreciate it when you're on. Thanks. What is that heavy? It's like a derp heavy. Oh. It's Chungus Republic on the derp heavy. Oh, that engineer got owned. Hold on. that's just the life of an engineer. So, my game randomly feels way better. Yeah, it do be like that sometimes, especially with like the error checking that's going on. Like, randomly, sometimes you won't be like encountering like super costly like error checks and stuff, like error reporting. Hopefully, I can fix all of the bugs. I've seen like 2 or 3 other major ones, and once those are solved, I was able to find like this like pretty interesting performance bug with some of like the ways like people optimize like maps, and I was able to fix some stuff there to make it faster. Well, basically, like the area portal window or whatever, it just computed its like visibility inefficiently, because it basically would use the base like code that's used for like players and everything, and it didn't need to because it was always like it was always set to like a certain value anyway, so you can just like skip all of like the invisibility and cloak and whatever. Well, not cloak, but like a certain type of cloak, you know, like translucency. And it's like, yeah, kind of silly how it was before, but it definitely, I think, made the game a lot smoother. Just fixing that. Yeah. I don't know why this guy like laughed when thinking he had the last laugh when it was I. I can just always feel like a spy behind me. Mostly because like when a spy bumps you, it's like really jank.
We have secured the control point.
I mean, honestly, I think I did like hear you a few times, but it's mostly been because of like the janky collision between players, which I do want to fix at some point. I do know like what the fix is. I just haven't like implemented it yet. Oh, sorry, soldier. Just got destroyed there. Yeah, walk into my flames, bro. The gift drops are just ammo crates for players. They're for smiths. Yeah, so come here, my medic. At 50 HP. It's a bit too dangerous for both of us. I jumped over that pipe. It's pretty cool. Okay, I think we're gonna have a bit of a short stream today since I kind of started like late. So I think I'm just gonna play like this round and maybe like another round. And then I'm gonna go. But it was fun. It's really fun always to like answer people's questions. Do you have any advice for junior game dev making their features into components? So I guess what you mean is like making them modular, like like isolated components. And I mean I think the most important thing is like, and this is kind of I guess boring slash generic advice, is like make sure you pre-plan ahead of time. Oh, Unreal Engine. So like you're making like actor components for like your features. Yeah, so I mean it still applies. Like when you're separating stuff out instead of like hard coding and making things like more applicable, the most important thing is like architecture, like pre-planning like how your systems are gonna look like. Because if you don't have like a good idea of that, you're gonna like end up either making like a bad design for your systems, or you're gonna like make like a mess that you have to keep on fixing. So like yeah, that's like the most important thing. And then the second most important thing that helps with that is basically making sure that you're thinking about your components, like not relying on each other too much, which is called decoupling. So you want to like decouple your components as much as possible so they don't rely on each other too much. They shouldn't know much about each other. They shouldn't have to like rely on like the internals of one versus the other. And you know, if you think about it, if you're hard coding nodes and you're just splitting out the nodes across your components and you're not really doing anything, then you still have basically the same thing. It's just like very neat like lasagna instead of spaghetti. You know, you've got like a bunch of layers of pasta instead of, you know, just one layer of just spaghetti everywhere. So the most important thing is to make sure when you're like splitting things out that they like remain separate. And you know, your things that you're like adding and changing should really be I gotta lock in a little bit. So your things should be able to like change independently without breaking each other. So like think of it more like a conversation rather than like cogs in a machine. Like you should basically think well, if these people were like if these nodes were or these components were people and they like asked someone to do something, like in your case it's a beer pouring effect, like all one thing should ask is like pour, right? And then everything is handled by, you know, that component. for everything that's like relevant, and it might have like sub components of like managing particles and materials and all that stuff. And it's like really important that you basically make sure that all of those things are kind of handled in a way that is pretty independent and doesn't like rely on asking like a bunch of things from one component to another. That's called like feature envy most of the time. So like when one component is like really envying the features of another component, it's called feature envy. It's basically like either the component is like being too like direct with what it wants, or it's like it like those functions should be in that component rather than the other. So like let's say you have like I don't know, like a bottle component, and it keeps on like calling random stuff to deal with like pouring. And really it should be in a pouring component because you know that's what should be managing the pouring, not the bottle. So that's one important thing to like recognize like where you should split stuff up. And that's like where the architecture and pre-planning comes in, because you can kind of more easily design that. Now, in the case of Unreal Engine, and really a lot of engines, like the best practice is to be as data oriented as possible. Like, don't like do so much code or nodes or anything. Like, your functionality should be defined in variables. So like, you have like a data asset. It's called a data asset in Unreal. And you basically define a bunch of things. Oh, yeah. Yeah, computer architecture is one of the more advanced courses that goes into like operating systems and hardware and stuff. Getting owner and parent child memory stuff is a weakness. Yeah, typically like the parents and stuff shouldn't really be concerned with what the children are doing for the most part. You just ask them, or you just tell them like, hey, this is happening, and then they all like kind of deal with it. Yeah, that's pretty important. I have to taunt Chungus Republic. I mean, with a name like that, you kind of have to. And took all of your heads away. Chungus Republic is, you can really tell that that person is like not well in the head. It's like concerning. It's like one of the first questions like a psychiatrist asks, like, is your name on Steam Chungus Republic? And you answer like yes, and then they like take you in. You're a threat to society.
Mission ends in 30 seconds.
Yeah. What is main color? Oh, that's like a strange tier. Did you know that Sniper's hand on first person have 2 gloves and no watch, but in third person Sniper have 1 glove and watch? Yes, I I I I know that. I think a lot of people kind of get a bit too caught up in like consistency versus like what is like good for the game, like when you're actually playing. Like when you're in first person, you're not really thinking about, does this match my third person? Like you're not really paying attention to that. You're just thinking about how does this view model like make me feel, and like how is it like balancing like my view, and like something like an unbalanced view model where there's like a lot of color, like differentiating color and weight, like visual weight on the model. That's typically what you don't really want to happen on like a model. So like in Sniper's case, it's very likely that there's like 2 gloves because it adds a little bit of symmetry to the model, like some consistent amount of weight in terms of like 2 dark brown gloves on both of his hands instead of basically a very bright exposed hand. If you play as heavy, you can see the old version. Yeah, those models are like out of date, mostly because they were like very stylized and they kind of never got around to like those people like making new art for them, and they kind of just had to stick with it. But I think like the 3D models are fine. I mean, I think they should use like different shading maybe for the portrait so it feels like a little bit more stylized or something. Like more of a painting, like more of like something on your screen. Painted like in 2D since it's like a part of the HUD which is 2D. But you know, it's serviceable. In comtress, I changed the lighting a little bit to be more defined and give a little bit better of like a profile of the character and better head visibility. So that's like something that can help, but obviously, like you say, that's a pretty important thing. When you toggle view models, the lighting changes. Oh, like when you toggle view model visibility? That's interesting. Heavy's original icon on the shoulders, a skull icon, so the fist icon. Yeah. Honestly, there's like a lot of inconsistencies on the emblems that you see in game. Well, not inconsistencies, but they're really low quality and stuff. Which kind of is unfortunate. But yeah. Yeah, Flog hits like a truck. I think Heavy has like the bullets icon, the fist icon, and the skull. Yeah. This guy is worse at pyro than me. It's okay. We win those. I should have gotten that reflect off. It's worth it to kill the Deadwinger. Even though, should probably focus on the soldier. Oh, the soldier died, I guess, so that's good. He's good. Wow. Why are you running away? Oh. I swear, I've just like accidentally killed you so many times. I don't know why. That's crazy. When are you giving demo proximity mines? I think proximity mines would probably be frustrating, but I think maybe an interesting thing would be a proximity grenade, which kind of like something that has like kind of a more a longer arc where it's like basically it like shoots up in like this steep curve or something. Well, not a steep curve, but it kind of shoots like this and then kind of just like glides along straight. And then like once something is in range, it just detonates. So you can't really get directs, but it's like easier to like shoot. And maybe that would be a cool way to basically do, a kind of like a crutch weapon for demo. Oh, damn. I didn't distance myself correctly. Yeah, the muzzle flash. I think the muzzle flash can be better, but I think the more realistic stuff kind of fits in a weird way, I guess. I mean, that's something that I've also done with the medals, or at least tried to do. Oh my gosh. What happened? Was that supposed to be a backstab, or? Because maybe it was supposed to. Oh. Yeah, so maybe. Oh, I see. Okay. I know I said like at the end of this round, but this round is taking like forever. So I think I don't know. We're gonna have to do something about this. Some of you might not like it, depending on if you like the stream or not. I just airblasted you into the spire. Teamwork. Right, let's recap this midpoint for like the 5th turn. It's gonna be cool. What if there was like a fencing like subclass for spy? Is like French fence a lot. It would probably be based on like melee comboing, probably, and like parrying, maybe. I don't know. And I think it would have like a lunge ability, not like a charge, but something like more like you can like lunge around, like even in the air. I don't know. It sounds pretty stupid, but it also sounds fun, so. That's just a random idea I had for no reason. I'm gonna back cap last. I know, I thought that was gonna like trick you into thinking like that was, because I thought I was gonna like bait you away from your team because you're listening. Well, TC2 take 9 years to develop. I don't know. It really depends on like what what comes of them all, but I mean, I really want this to continue long term because ultimately I want TF2 to continue long term. So if it takes 9 years, then you know that's like, you know. Oh, damn. Okay. Well, hopefully, yeah, hopefully it'll open with the late. But, yeah, hopefully, if anyone is still watching this stream, hopefully, you try out TC2. It's like very small. It's like only 60 megabytes or so. It just uses your default tf2 install. It's pretty easy to install. It's pretty much one click. And yeah, hopefully it's fun. Hopefully it can get better over time and more people like view this as kind of like a solution to some of the problems they're facing in TF2. Because, you know, I'm really trying to just directly address people's concerns. You got airshot by a bot. Pretty insane. No, that's true. I've gotten airshot by the bots a lot.
Our control point is being captured.
Curium kits in a row. Okay, finally I can leave. Yeah, I was like really rushing before they like try to defend again. Yeah, that was pretty fun. Hopefully, more people check out the mod and, you know, it would be pretty nice to see like this mod get like a healthy player base because then people can kind of be more optimistic and think about solutions because things will realistically happen, you know, instead of kind of it being dead silence. So maybe that'll be encouraging to people as well. So, yeah, I'm pretty hopeful. Hopefully, these streams have been helpful as well. I just want them to be kind of like a chill environment to learn more about comtress too and just kind of relax and chill. So, yeah, it's been fun. I am going to end the stream now.